Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my 2025 planners and journals, and there's quite the stack this year. I will be doing a top-down view of them and show them in more detail below, but I thought I'd do a quick intro, I would show them to you, and then we'd get on to looking at how I'm planning on using them next year. So probably the one that is the most boring and the one that you probably will not see again in any videos after this is my work planner, which is a Hobonichi Weeks, and it's in its case. I think I've talked about this before. I got the case one to protect it in my bag, but it is a Hobonichi Weeks. I also got this case because I can keep these little mini notebooks in here, which I'll talk about when I go through how I'm planning on using the weeks for my work planner, because this seems rather weird for a teacher to be using a super tiny planner for teaching, but I will go through all of that in a moment. Continuing with my weeks, another one that you probably won't see heaps of just because it will feature a lot of images of my niece is the Hobonichi Weeks that I bought for my niece to document her life over the next 12 months that I planned then to give to her parents. So I've actually already started filling this in because I could. One, the Hobonichi Week starts in December, but I also started earlier than that and I used some of the note pages at the back of the book. I've just put the dates on things. I couldn't help myself. I started printing off photos and things to include in here, and I just started. It happened. Then there is my personal Hobonichi Weeks. This is the one that I use as my day-to-day planner where I put in my dates and important things. I'm planning on doing things a little bit differently in 2025, so I'll talk about that as I show you the inside. That one you'll probably see because it doesn't have things that are super critical to hide. Another one I'm hoping to share a little bit more of, at least the process of putting together, is my Hobonichi Hon, which is in the A6 size, and this is going to be a journal. And it's not going to be pre-filled in advance. It's going to be filled in as I go. And I'm hoping to do like something little every day. And again, I'll talk about that process as I go through because I've got little notes inside all of these things because of course I do. Then there is my content planner for my YouTube channels. I'm thinking I'm going to keep both my Kidlit Joy and my Novelty Corner content in the same one this year. We'll see. Obviously my content is changing slightly. I've talked about that in my channel plans video. So it's not going to be as pre-planned as it has in the past, but I still want to document and make note of big projects that I have just so that I can keep track of timing and things like that. And then we come to all of the book journals. So the one that you guys have seen a lot of is my reading stats journal. There's also my digital reading journal, and also new this year is the 52 Book Club's 2025 reading journal, which I'm using just specifically for one project. So yeah, we're gonna flip the camera around and I'm gonna talk my way through how I'm planning on using all these journals, which even to me seems a little bit excessive, but here we are. Alrighty, we are going to start with the Hobonichis, so all my weeks planners. Oh, let's just get the stack on the side all organized so that we go in order. Okay, so I forget the name of absolutely everything that I have purchased, but I have the case. This case has two pockets in which I've put these notebooks that I've purchased last year and never used. I'm planning on using them for different committees and teams that I'm on. So I'm part of the school improvement team. I'm also part of the consultative committee. So I have two little notebooks to use for those, and all of my other note taking I'll be doing inside the actual Hobonichi. I've currently got a Lamy Safari. Was this Safari? Yeah, I think this is Safari. This has the medium nib, which is a little thick, but I'm learning how to use it. So that works for me. And then there's the week's planner. I do have a clear cover on it. I haven't done any decorating yet. I did stick the little plastic pocket here just so I can put anything I need into it. I am waiting on an order of stickers from Coffee Monster Co., which I'm going to use to decorate all of the monthly pages. This is the Japanese version, I should say, of this design, because this was the one that I was able to get. I am mostly going to use the month pages for important dates, things that are coming up at work. So I haven't filled in much for next year because we're still waiting on dates for things. I should go in and put in the term dates. I just haven't done it yet. And then it's literally just going to be a work planner. So I've actually started using this already because it started in the last week of November and I wanted to see how I go. So it's going to be weekly to-dos on this side, a list of all of the events this week, plus anything that comes up if I have meetings or whatever, just to pop in a reference note here. And that's going to be the same for the whole year. And then what I will use the notes section for at the back will be any professional learning, any staff meeting minutes, any other meetings that I just need to keep track of. because there's heaps of space here and I don't take that many notes. Now, the reason that I'm not using a bigger or a teacher planner for teaching is because I actually don't use physical planners. All of our lesson planning is done online. We collaboratively plan our lessons as teams, so we have them all in our shared drive. It doesn't make sense for me to then translate all of that handwriting or even printing it and sticking it in there. If I'm going to print it out, I'm just going to print it out. So yeah, this is just for keeping track of dates and making notes and to-do lists, and this size is perfect for me because anything bigger than this and I just don't use it. You probably will not see this again because once next year gets fully started, it'll be full of information that's confidential and things like that. So can't really share it after that point. This is the other one that won't get shared as often because it's my planner for my niece, Miller. I decided to do this late in the game, otherwise I would have tried to get the Paddington cover for her, but I actually really like this one. I think it's super sweet. It's the little wallpaper one. It's got a clear cover on it and I've already started decorating it with things. So I've put her name in here. I'm using lots of stickers. Honestly, what I'm doing with the stickers is I'm either finding things that fit or are kind of more childlike, or I'm just using up extra stuff as well. And I just figured it would be a bit of a collage journal. So there's lots of photos of her in here. This is the front cover. This was the little promo card that came with it, so I just stuck it in. We won't really need to use that. I'm probably not going to use the year at a glance. Then the monthly calendars, I'm just going to use as decorative things. So at the moment I've got capital letters and lowercase letters, and then I'll think of other little patterns and things to put in here. It could be words of the day or words that she's learnt. Because I don't feel like this, I mean, I don't live with her full time, so I can't really track everything that she's doing. And then any milestones I'm going to put in the weekly pages. So I actually started a November page with a letter to her explaining the purpose of this. And then the rest of, this was actually right at the start of November, so it wasn't this particular week. We actually went to a book signing and it was her first book signing, so I decided to write about it. But then I went to the notes section and I will make a list of things in here, which ones are November and which ones carry over, as well as on the pages say, you know, go to page whatever in the notes for more information. But yeah, these I just put the date on and then just put any, you know, photos, notes, things that she did. This was the day that I was looking after her, and this one was when some photos were sent to me from her. So it's just like little collage scrapbook for her. And I do have some photos that were sent to me for this week, so that will be the next thing that I do. I'll be adding those in for her and putting in some anecdotes. She's actually going to the Wiggles today, the day that I'm filming this on the 7th. And it's her first Wiggles concert, so I'm also waiting for some photos for that. I should say my sister still doesn't know about this. My parents do. My sister does not. And it's just because it hasn't come up in conversation yet. Then we have my personal planner. So this is the Wurrundjeri Weeks. It does have a clear cover. I don't really need anything else other than the clear cover. In fact, last year I didn't even have a clear cover, so I could probably have lived without it, but I do like these designs, so we're going to try and keep it nice and tidy. Haven't decorated the inside pages yet. Probably when I find some nice stickers and things like that, I will. I'm not precious about this needing to have a theme. I'm just going to put in things here that make me happy and make me smile. There is a photo of me from the end of November. I had a photo that was taken of me. I think I've mentioned it in other videos, where it was a local project with a local photographer who was taking photos of people and their favorite book, and he let me take a photo of a book stack of some of my favorite books or books that have been influential in my life. So I printed out the full-length photo because I actually really like it. I do have, as I said before, some stickers from Coffee Monster Co. coming, including the Wurrundjeri sort of label cover stickers to put on there, so I'll put that on when it arrives. I was kind of hoping the stickers would be here, but with all the shipping delays and things over in Canada, it's just been a bit tricky. I don't tend to use these forward planning pages, but what I think I will use them for this year is just highlighting my period, because I can also go in and put in the data from 2024 as well, which just makes it easy to access. I do have all of that on my phone, but having it at a glance can also be useful. Then I was like thinking of ideas for how I could use this page and using it kind of as a color-coded tracker. I definitely want to track days that my asthma is bad, because it's been really bad towards the end of this year. So I want to document that just to, you know, have a record of it. I did think about putting the period tracker in here, and that might be something that I do, and maybe this just becomes pure decoration. Also totally fine. Also a headache tracker, so just more sort of medical tracking kind of stuff. I did use this for birthdays last year, but since the birthdays are in my phone, then they just get transferred to the monthly calendar, so they don't really need to go in here. Plus this is super tiny, and weirdly enough, I have a lot of people who have birthdays on similar days. And then we have our monthly pages, so you can see how I've decorated for December. I just kept it super simple. December is really hot here. It's currently one of the hottest Decembers I reckon we've had in a very long time. So I've gone with sunflowers because why not? And I've got birthdays, I've got when paydays are, I've got big events, appointments, etc. You know, when payments for subscriptions are due, just to keep track of that. And each month I'll just pick something to do, keep it fairly simple. I've also got these stickers that I purchased last year and forgot to put in my planner, so I've just, you know, stuck them in where they belong. And of course we get a couple of extra months, which could be good for forward planning, but I'll probably move into the Hobonichi in December again next year, assuming I keep the same, you know, planner. There's a little bit of doubling up between this and my work planner. I am putting in meeting nights, but mostly because it's December and because there's a lot of things happening both in my professional life and my personal life, and so knowing when I've got meeting nights and things like that becomes really critical. Throughout the year it's not so bad because I've got a bit more flexibility. These are the other two photos from that photo shoot. And then mostly what I'm probably planning on doing is just doing, you know, decorating week by week. I'm not going to do monthly themes. I'm just going to go with whatever stickers work for me. Putting in meetings, important dates, things that are coming up. Sometimes a bit of a reflection if I don't have anything else in there, but I will have the actual journal this year as well, so that will change up how that works. And then the right hand side will be to-do lists, and if there are weeks where I want to plan out my meals or things like that, I can do it. Like I said, I want it to be just kind of be flexible, and I want to go week by week with it. I don't want to pre-plan too much because I think week by week my needs change, and so this notes page becomes really helpful. And then at the end of the week, I can, you know, document things. Oh, I didn't tick this off. I did get my Mustangs membership this week. Woohoo! Yeah, like I put in meals and I did not track my meals mostly because I ate out because I was exhausted. But I do have a whole lot of to-dos to fill in for this weekend because I've got a lot to do. But yeah, this was a sticker sheet that I was just trying to use up because I'd used most of the stickers in another layout, so I just filled them in here. And I think this is going to be a really great use for those half-used sticker sheets because the Hobonichi weeks is so small, you can't really use lots and lots of stickers on a weekly layout without it becoming overwhelming, so this is going to work. The other thing that I've been doing, I don't think I mentioned, is that I'm making sure I'm reading through the quotes, and I want to annotate the quotes if there is something worth annotating, just to remind myself that I have read them. So that will look different week by week. So yeah, my notes to myself on these weekly pages are read and annotate the weekly quotes, events, maybe putting in books read if I feel like it, meal trackers, to-do lists, etc. That's how that's going to work. And then if we flip all the way to the notes pages, which I've already put a sticker on because that was I think the last washy sticker on a sticker sheet. I'm actually going to use these notes pages for book quotes, which is what I started doing in the last part of last year in my previous Hobonichi weeks. Actually, I'll go get it and show you. So this is my 2024 weeks. Because I wasn't sure what to use this for, and I stopped putting quotes in my reading journal just because I found I was just falling too far behind. And so I would just alternate colours with quotes. I just write the quote and write the title of the book or the TV show. Sometimes there's quotes from TV shows. And I am behind on this as well, but this becomes more a meditative exercise and I can just kind of do it while I'm watching TV. And I found it really therapeutic. It also let me play around with my fountain pens and the different inks. So that will be book quotes. Working from the back of the notes page, it'll be pen test paper from here because I probably won't use all of this for book quotes, but I do find it useful to do pen test if I get any new inks and things like that. Then there's all the other bits and pieces. I thought the 100 could be 100 things I'm grateful for, maybe, if I remember to do it. Yeah, and that's about it. And then I want to do probably something around savings in here. I haven't quite figured out how it's going to work. We'll see. And then at the back, because there was extra pockets, I've got the pocket here, which I don't know why I put horizontal because it doesn't quite fit. These are just some sticker samples that I got from various places, so I've put them in here. But I've also got the planner stickers that I use all the time. So there's the habit tracker, there's the monthly ones that I'll use for the monthly calendars. I'll be using the shortened months, and then just some week strips and meals. So like the ones that I will use, I'm just going to keep them here so I don't have to keep finding them. The to-dos and the today stickers. And then these are the hockey stickers. I bought these last year. I had them maybe in gold, but this year I've got 2 rose gold and 2 black. And that's because I want to use some for away, some for home games. So that's the 2025 personal planner. Then we have what will be my journal, which I've just put upside down. So this cover isn't designed for the hon, but I've just put it on there anyway. And because I don't need it to sit over the top, it's fine. It fits. It does come with its own bookmarks, and then the hon also comes with its bookmarks. So we'll see how I end up using those. As you can see, I've already started putting some stickers in here. These are stickers that I really like, and this is what I mean. I'll just fill this whole thing up with stickers that I really like. I've got a couple more that I want to put on here that I haven't done so yet. Again, I'll have a Coffee Monster Co sticker to cover up that, and then you'll see that I've started putting some washi in different places just to, you know, liven it up. There is a pencil board that comes with this planner as well. I always struggle with the index, so in one planner it's going to be a habit tracker, but what I thought I could do in this one is actually use it as an actual index for all of the pages, because as I'll talk about when I get to the pages, I have different ideas for how I can use them, and I thought it would be really useful to block out whether it's a journaling page or whether it's a poetry page or whether it's a quote page or whether it's just a photo dump or a brain dump or whatever. And then that way I have a reference for where to find things or how I've used the pages across the month, and then I can see if there's any patterns or things like that. So I'm excited about that. Again, I've added some washi tape here. I've added washi tape across all of these because it's broken up in this way. And then you've got the future planning as well. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that's going to work really well for me. Then for my monthly pages, I'm actually planning on using it as my word of the day, which I've already started doing for December. I'm a little bit behind. I have to go back into my emails and get the words of the day. And I'm putting the word of the day in a different color ink, and then I'm writing the definition underneath because I'm a word nerd. I love words. Not all of these words are new to me, but it's nice just to have them in here as a record. And at the moment, I'm currently subscribed to the Merriam-Webster word of the day. I'm also open to trying other words of the day throughout the year and seeing what words come up. This is something I do with my students, so I am doing it with myself as well. And I'll probably do some decorative things at the end of every month just to fill up the page. So that's how the monthly pages are going to be used, and I'm excited to do that because this doesn't need to be documenting anything because I've got my weekly planner for that. And then we have the actual pages. So I'm thinking the first page of the month, which, I mean, this is here. This could be a, I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do here. Maybe it's a mood board or a collage or something. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But I figured at the start of every month there could be some kind of monthly collage to set the tone for the month. And then there's a day per page. And because this is the A6 size, like this is super manageable. There's a lot of space, but there's also not a lot of space. And the way that I'm planning on using these pages, I hope, is to either share quotes that I love and try and, you know, practice my lettering, whether it's to share an anecdote and journal for the day. It could be a photo collage. It could be, you know, if I find a really good recipe to put it in here. It could be a poem. I also like doing the haiku a day, but I never get it every day. But you know, I like to write poetry, so it could be poetry or it could be poems that I find and love. So it's going to be really open, and I think having something to do at the end of every day that's a little bit creative, that could be journaling but doesn't have to be journaling, but still represents where I am at that point in the year, is going to be really fun. And then I can just play with stickers, I can play with textures, I can play with washi tapes, I can potentially play with watercolor, although I haven't tested the watercolor on this new Tomo River paper. And the same thing in this one, there's quotes on every page. I would like to read and annotate the quotes. That's just something that I like to do and just make it fun. If the quote gets covered up by whatever's going on the page, that's also fine. But I just thought if I can still see the quote, to do something with that as a reflection. Yeah, and I thought that would be a really nice way to sort of capture my year. There's no paper at the back of the book. I'm thinking of using it for some kind of wish list thing. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. The notes paper aren't as important to me as the individual days. It could also still be flow on from other pages as well. Besides, there's not that much note paper in this journal. There is a pen and ink test page just on the last page. I just think that's useful to know. And then there's all of the Hobonichi end of year content. There's a timetable. I'm not really going to need that. It's graph paper, the favorites, etc. I don't know. I might use them. I don't necessarily need to. Again, there's 100. I mean, this could be the gratitude log. The other one could be something else. We'll see in January how that starts. And then, yeah, stickers at the back. That's how I'm planning on using this as my creative journaling outlet. If you are at all familiar with my channel, you will know all about my content planning journal. This is something I started doing because Heather was doing it and it seemed like a really great way of keeping myself organized. And then this year, Heather and I have the same content planner, even though we're both trying to take a step back from over planning, because we both like the Ray Dunn planners and I happened to find them at TK Maxx. And so I sent one to her because I found it and it was like $5. Again, I just throw any stickers I get in here, particularly bookish stickers. I throw in just to decorate. I think it's fun. This page, I tend to throw any ideas I have and just stick them at the front, and then I can grab them and move them somewhere. It just means I've got this idea. I've probably made notes about it somewhere. I'm sticking it here. So if I ever feel like I need something, I can grab it and throw it into the schedule. And because this is an 18-month planner, it starts in August. So I started backfilling all of the videos that I uploaded this year, mostly because then I can flip back and look at it without having to get out a completely different journal, because I'm planning on keeping the other one. But I can just flick back and see what content was filmed in what month. I thought that's a good way of keeping track. I do have to update it for November and December. And then this looks like a giant mess because I had purchased another planner to use for my Kidlit Joy channel, and then I decided that actually maybe what I probably want to do is just keep all of it in one place so I can see what my weeks look like and what needs to be filmed in any given week. Ignore the current color coding. The current color coding does not mean much at all, except for the pink is going to be Kidlit Joy. Everything else is currently Novelty Corner. So, I mean, this is going to give you an overview of what's coming. So we'll have the January reset, the best of 2024, 2024 stats. There probably won't be a try chapter here, but there will be one somewhere else. I mean, it could even be here. Anyway, there'll be a try chapter. My summer reading vlog, I'm tentatively planning for the 9th because I've got events happening around here that I want to, well, things that I'm going to do in the city when it's, you know, the middle of summer that I'm planning on filming. But I could also move, like, all of this can be moved. That's the whole point of having it on post-it notes in a journal, is that you can move it around. Where possible, I kind of want to do 2 try chapters a month, just because I feel like that's a great way to introduce people to books and give initial impressions on them, but we'll see how that goes. For Kidlit Joy, I did put in some, you know, dates around, you know, there's National Penguin Day. I happen to actually have quite a few books about penguins. So I'm like, well, that could be a video, Lunar New Year and all that sort of thing. There is a video I'm doing around the rest of the story, although this one may get moved back because I have a bunch of books to read for it and I haven't started those. Well, I've started them, but I'm a bit behind. There's also this month, the Victorian Premier's Literary Award shortlist is released. I want to start doing some stuff around that because even though I'm primarily a romance reader, I do read other genres, including not just kids fiction, but also Australian fiction and things like that. So I want to see what's on the list because I might try and incorporate some of that into my reading. And if you've seen my channel goals, you'll know that there's a whole bunch of other things that I want to film. There could be things to do around the 52 book challenge, other vlogs, etc. So, you know, there'll be a whole bunch of things. Like I want to have my first TBR Diaries video in January, which you'll find out more about in my channel update and plans. And then like there's other bits and pieces that have already been put in, like particularly for Kidlit Joy, just around those themes and days. But, you know, there will be a January wrap up for the first time in ages. There'll be a monthly wrap up. So that's going to be in, and that will be scheduled for, well, I'll be filming it the weekend after the month ends. So that'll depend on when it falls. So yeah, like that's how I content plan for this, like, and for any awards that I know, like this is when the Vic Premier Literary Award winners are announced. I haven't put in the CBCA dates for Kidlit Joy yet, but the winners are announced in August. I've got to just check when the long list and the shortlist dates are being announced. I know I've seen them, I just haven't written them down. And I will adjust my post-it notes accordingly so I can keep track of what's going on. Then I tend to use this notes paper at the back of the book for content planning and notes and things like that for the different channels. So yeah, I mean, this is a really good point to say. If you have anything that you want to see from my channel, let me know, because I'll just pop them onto either post-it notes or in the notes section and, you know, maybe get a chance to talk about them at some point. This is probably the journal that you guys are most familiar with. Even if I don't talk about it a lot, you see it a lot in my resets. And this is my reading stats journal, which currently has a bunch of random things at the front that just live there. So this was a pack from Emily Raff that Izzy organised for me, and this was the Dimmicks reading challenge for the start of last year, or for the start of this year I should say. Anyway, I started this in 2023 in September. You know, might as well do a flip through. This is just stats. Like, it's a double page spread for each month that includes the stats that I pull from my reading spreadsheet. So this was the 2023 wrap up. I will do a 2024 wrap up when I have all of those stats entered. January, February, March, April, still one of my favorite spreads ever. May, which I actually liked how this looks, and I even did the same in June, which was, you know, that month where I did a readathon that I will never ever do again, but I like the layout. July, which was another readathon month. I think that was that the Australian readathon month? Can't remember. August, September, which was also really cute. October, again, another favorite layout. November, this is December's layout, which you guys will have seen in my reset video, and then we'll have the 2024 stats, and then we'll do 2025 stats. And that's how I'm using this book. Again, I am putting stickers, just a bit more random stickers in here, plus the washi graveyard, which I keep forgetting about, but does exist. There is my digital reading journal, which is literally just where I'm going to put the book covers so that I have an overview of what everything looks like, plus a few trackers, and also favorite books I'm going to lay out slightly differently in the journal, but for the most part it's going to be just book covers, which is a lot easier to do here and then print it, then have it printed and bound as a book, than trying to print off photos every week and do a manual book journal. I don't have time for that. First thing that you're going to notice is that the design and the decorative elements in this are different from when I set up my video. That's because I walked away from that video and about a week later went, I hate it, I'm changing it. So sorry, it's changed. That's the good thing about a digital journal, is I can change it. Anyway, we've still got that floral element, but we've gone for more of a rainbow feel, and I'm really happy with how it looks. I'm a color person. Some of these I do want to change up a little bit. Like, to me, this is a bit more pastel. I think I just want to pull in the really bright rainbow elements that I have. There's the 52 book challenge, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. Other reading challenges I want to include. I haven't done anything for the months or anything like that yet. I'm going to save that for later in the month. But it's been set up so that I've got the month, the videos, and then I will put in pages to document the books. That's pretty much that. Everything else is pretty much the same from that first video. And then the last journal, quote unquote journal, I'm using is the 52 Book Club journal for 2025. So they put this together for their reading challenge, which I thought was a really cool idea. Now, because I'm in Australia and I ordered this from Amazon, I have a black and white version. If you are in the US, I think you get a color version. I'm happy with black and white. It doesn't bother me. This is not going to be a decorative thing. This is not going to be something that I spend a huge lot of time worrying about it being neat or tidy. I'm literally just going to use it to track the books that I read for this challenge as a bit of a project. You'll have seen that in the Bingo Board from Hell challenge. Like, this is a challenge for me. This is to take me outside my comfort zone, to have prompts that I would not normally necessarily pick for myself, and to see how I can make that fit my reading tastes. So the 52 Book Club YouTube channel has a full flip through of this, but the way that I've used it so far is I've taken all of the prompts and I started writing out books that I currently own or books that I can get from the library that fit the prompt. And just because I like color, I have done it in rainbow pens. These are also friction pens, so I can rub them out and add in different books if I want to. So I've done that for just about all of the prompts. There's a couple of things that I need to, well, I can't do a burr month until I get to that month because I don't know what I'm going to be reading in those months. But yeah, like, there's no set time to fill it in. This is a page where you can write out all the book titles and then tick off exactly how many of the prompts they cover. So there's the prompts 1 to 52 across the top. So there's a stack of those pages. So that's a way of seeing if you can use something for multiple prompts. There's a progress chart. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. There's the 2025 bookshelf. I mean, that might be fun to fill in. And then each prompt has a page where you can fill in things about it. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for me to do. And it doesn't have to be done immediately. It can be done throughout the year. But just to have a record, like, I thought, I'm tracking the book covers in other places, so this could be a way to practice writing actual reviews, since I'm really bad at writing reviews now. They also do mini challenges, so there's different mini challenge pages where you can put in the prompts. There's a December
December bingo board challenge that will happen. And then information about the books you read for it. There's an ABC challenge if you want to do it. There's a read and watch challenge. There's a bingo board for the prompts. And then there's months in review, which I thought this would be really interesting just to even document the books for the challenge that I read in each month. Because there's not enough pages and not enough lines for what I generally read in a month, but to actually document for this month, that could be kind of cool. What else was there? Oh yeah, there's the book of the year, which I'll do based off the challenge books as opposed to all of the books that I read. Daily reading log, tracking your read, like different ways of tracking your reading, and then notes paper. So I thought it was a really cool little book. I'm also happy to support the group that organised this because I think it's a fun challenge. I think it's a great way to bring people who read different genres together because the prompts are very open to different genres and different types of readers. So yeah, that is my myriad of planners and journals and projects for this year. All right, and that, my friends, is everything that I'm planning on using in 2025. Hopefully I'm not overcomplicating my life, but I probably am, but that's fine. Like, everything's fine, right? I'll leave links to any of the planners mentioned down below, so if you're interested, you can check them out. Otherwise, I'm really interested in knowing, do you have a planner? What are you planning on using as your planner next year? Part of me feels like I've kind of simplified and streamlined my process a little bit. I know exactly what I want to do and how I want to use things. There just happens to be a few of them that I need to keep up with, but I'm really excited, particularly about the journaling one, just to have a place to put down something at the end of every day, just as a way of wrapping up the day. So we'll see how that goes. If you just want to let me know that you're here but you don't want to leave a comment, feel free to leave a pen emoji down below. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.